Love ought to show itself in deeds more than in words. Quote by Saint Ignatius of Loyola, whose feast we are celebrating today. Good morning, respected chief guest, Father Anush Prasad Dikuna SJ, Principal Father Melvin Anil Lobo SJ, Vice Principals Miss Laurel D'Souza and Miss Aparna Suresh, teachers, non-teaching staff, and my dear friends. I, Ria Vego of Class 9B, take this as my immense pleasure to heartily welcome you all for today's celebration of the feast of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. God is the source of everything. He builds, and what He builds lasts forever. I now call upon the choir group to lead us into prayer. Welcoming is an art and it sprouts from the heart. I request Hiba Sadi from class 7B to welcome the gathering and to introduce the resource person of today's program.
If the sign on your heart says welcome, the love comes pouring in from everywhere. A very good morning to each and everyone present here. I, Hiba Sadi of class 7B, take the privilege in welcoming you all on this auspicious occasion of the feast of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Today, I am greatly honored to welcome and introduce the chief guest of today's program, Father Anush Prasad Dikuna SJ. Father Anush Dikuna is a Jesuit priest of the Karnataka Jesuit province. He is currently the director of Loyola Pre-Novitiate Mangalore and takes care of the young candidates who aspire to be future Jesuits. Father Anush has a master's degree in English from St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. He is a resource person in English language, personality development, and spirituality. He is also a writer. He has his own blog named Anush Dikuna, where all his writings are found. He is an affectionate and a caring person, having a keen sense of observation. He can imitate a person in no time, which reveals his humorous nature. We are indeed privileged to have such an reality among us today. On behalf of our principal, vice principals, staff, and all the students, I express a cordial welcome to you, dear Father. I request our dear principal to welcome our guest with a sapling. A heartfelt welcome to our principal, Father Melvin Anil Lobo S.J., who inspires us to dream more, learn more, and become more. Welcome, Father. I extend a warm welcome to our dear vice principals, Miss Loyola D'Souza and Miss Aparna Suresh, who inspire us, our passion, and motivate us. I cordially welcome all the teachers who play a major role in shaping our personality. Welcome, dear teachers. I also welcome our non-teaching staff who help us in our various programs. Finally, I welcome you all, my dear friends, for this auspicious occasion. Once again, a warm welcome to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiba, and a warm welcome to you too. There is great significance and importance in all our day-to-day actions in both words and deeds. I now call upon Elston Pinto of Class 5D to tell us more about the significance of the day.
Ignatius of Loyola was born in Spain in 1491 to noble parents of the Loyola clan and was given the name Inigo Lopez de Oñas y Loyola. He was the youngest of 13 children. Ignatius joined military and during her war, he got seriously injured by a cannonball hurting his leg. Because he was free, during his treatment, he started reading books on life of Christ and lives of the saints. His conscience was deeply touched and was turning towards the spiritual path. He remained for almost a year in a cave in the hills, praying and going to the holy places. It was during this year of conversion that Ignatius began to write down material that later became his greatest work, the spiritual exercises. He finally achieved his purpose of going to the Holy Land. Ignatius spent the next 11 years studying in various European universities. In the course of his studies, he met the 6 men who would form the basis for his Order of the Society of Jesus, one of whom was Saint Francis Xavier. 4 years later, Ignatius made the association permanent. The new Society of Jesus was approved by Pope Paul III, and Ignatius was elected to serve as the first general. Companions were sent to different countries to spread education and serve the poor and needy. Ignatius founded the Roman College, intended to be the model of all other colleges of the society. He was a true mystic and centered his spiritual life on the essential foundations of Christianity. On July 31st, 1556, he took his last breath. His feast day is celebrated on 31st July. He is the patron saint of the Society of Jesus. He was declared the patron saint of all spiritual retreats by Pope Pius XI in 1922. Thank you.
Thank you, Elston. Whatever you are doing, that which makes you feel the most alive, that is where God is. Saint Ignatius of Loyola did not believe in God, but one day he transformed his life forever and fully devoted himself to God. Let us now watch a video presentation to understand how this transformation came about.
Finding God in all things. I'd like to tell you something about that. I'm now at the end of an adventurous life, and I can tell you that I find God whenever I want to find Him. How did it happen? You see this young man, a real macho Spaniard. That's me. My story begins when I almost lost my legs. To my own amazement, there on the battlefield, my adventure with Jesus began. I was on my back for a year, at first with just one thing on my mind: to restart my life as a knight as soon as possible, until I slowly discovered that God had other things in store for me. I daydreamed a lot in those days. What else was there to do? About a prominent woman and how I would win her affection through my heroic deeds. What I wanted was a few novels about chivalry to read. But what I got was a book about the life of Jesus and a collection of stories about saints, people who followed Jesus in a special way. It surprised me that I started dreaming about these stories too. Then I imagined how I would perform the same great deeds as the saints, and that I would do even more for God than all these men and women put together. In all this fantasizing, I made a remarkable discovery. Each time I thought about my life of excess as a knight, I felt energized at first, but then I became lethargic and tired. However, when I thought of the great heroic deeds I would accomplish for God, I felt just as excited, but I remained energized afterwards and experienced deep joy. A striking difference. It turned out to be a key guide for finding God in everyday life. My desire to dedicate my life radically to God grew ever stronger. For me, that meant leaving behind the life of a knight. I decided to go to Jerusalem as a pilgrim because I wanted to be in the places where my new friend Jesus had been. This thought filled me with joy, which for me was a sign that I was on the right path. When I was still just at the start of my journey, I got into an argument with a Muslim man. I found what he said about Mary, the mother of Jesus, offensive, and it really got under my skin. He went on ahead, and I began to question myself. I believed he had insulted Mary. Shouldn't I attack him with my dagger? I would certainly have done it before, but maybe it didn't fit with this new life. I didn't know. I decided to give my donkey free rein so that it could decide. In this way, and to my own surprise, I discovered that I could entrust myself to the will of someone outside myself. I'm not alone in this. Later, when I knew better who God is and how to find him, I wouldn't let a donkey decide, but God himself. I traveled on to the Spanish town of Manresa, where I had many new insights. In my heart, I was still a bit of a player who wanted to woo God the way I had secured the affections of women. If a saint had kneeled for 5 hours, then I prayed for 7. Another time, I decided not to eat or drink for a week. I blindly followed the example of all the saints at the same time, and it made me very unhappy. It made me so desperate that I even considered ending my life. This is not what was meant to happen. Clearly living like this was not what God was asking me to do. From this, I realized that God was inviting me to look for him in my own personal way. It was as if my eyes were slowly opening. Bit by bit, I discovered how I could find God by listening to my deepest feelings. In this, my friendship with Jesus was a great help. I worked at it every day, praying with the stories of Jesus' life. I paid close attention to what was going on in my heart. What is he inviting me to do? In this way, I learned to discern how I could better direct my life and come to find God more easily. A year later, I made the crossing to Jerusalem by ship. Finally. Again and again, I visited the places Jesus had been. What more could I want? Standing on the ground where my friend Jesus had stood, breathing the air that he breathed. Before the journey home, I went to the Mount of Olives one more time. This is the place where Jesus ascended to heaven. Because it was forbidden to go there without a guide, I had to bribe the guard. I wanted to pray at the place where Jesus had stood for the last time. When I realized that I didn't know which direction Jesus was facing at his ascension, I went back. I wanted to know even the smallest details about Jesus. It was now clear to me that everything, absolutely everything, is centered on him. As I was being led through the city like a criminal, my heart was filled with joy, and I felt Jesus close by. Back in Europe, I began to study. I had come to realize that you must use not only your heart to find God, but also your head. In Paris, I became friends with 6 fellow students with whom later I would found the Jesuit order. With them, I made another discovery. You can find God by devoting yourself to others. More than that, you can find him in all things. We cared for the poor and helped others to find God in their everyday lives. It's hard to believe what that cannonball set in motion. A tough guy who founded a religious order. What a conversion. And yet, this is not offered as something exceptional. Absolutely not. You too can learn to discern God's voice in the feelings and longings already present in your life. In this way, God invites you to a life of great joy and deep love for yourself and for those around you. It's up to you to choose to make your decisions on this basis. There are many ways to find God. Find him among young people hoping for a meaningful future. Listen to the earth that groans and longs for healing. See the countless poor, refugees, and outcasts yearning for justice. God invites you also to seek him and find him in all things. What conversion, what change of direction is he calling you to?
Music is to the soul what words are to the mind. I now call upon my friends to serenade us with a song. you, friends. That was truly melodious. Dance is the hidden language of the soul. I would like to call upon the students of class 11 and 12 to entertain us with a dance. Friends, that was an amazing performance. I now request the dignitaries to take their seats on the stage. We have amongst us an eminent personality, Father Anush Dikunna S.J. I now request Father to speak a few wise words.
Morning. Also, this is the best method to check whether the mic is working. Okay, whether you are awake and the mic is on. Yes, both are all right. So first of all, let me take this opportunity to greet all of you a very happy feast of Saint Ignatius. May Saint Ignatius continue to inspire all of us and especially to do great things in this life and always work for the greater glory. I was just thinking, I celebrated the Eucharist, we all participated, and I already gave the homily, and what else I can speak? And I came up with 5 Ds. 5 Ds. I may ask anyone once I finish 5 Ds. All right? Okay. And my short message is to all of you, dear teachers and also non-teaching staff. Saint Ignatius was a man given to the worldly things. That is what he himself mentions in the autobiography. At the age of 26, everything turns new to him. After the battle, and then goes on in his life, we have seen in the video presentation, we have heard in the significance of the day about his life. And most importantly, he writes the spiritual exercises and he gives us different tools how to pray. It is not only how to pray, but also to lead a good Christian life and a good life on this earth. And therefore, I have taken these 5 D's from his life. First D is discernment. Discernment. Discernment is knowing what is right and what is wrong. Dear students, as we celebrate this feast, we have to carry something to our home today. Some lessons that we have to learn from this great saint. The art of discernment is well explained by him, but for you and for me, for our context today, the discernment can be in simple terms to choose what is right in our life. Choosing something beautiful for God, beautiful for our parents, beautiful for our school, and beautiful for our own life. Today the world is mixed with good things and as well as not so good things. It is very difficult to choose the good things. You know, in Indian philosophy, the word taken for discernment is viveka. Viveka. And there is a beautiful story the Indian philosophy gives about viveka. That is, there is a royal swan, Rajahamsa, and this Rajahamsa is given milk to drink, and swan drinks only milk. And milk is given to the swan, royal swan, Rajahamsa, and the milk is mixed with water. The milk is mixed with water. And Rajahamsa, the royal swan, drinks only the milk, leaves the water there itself. That is called viveka, discernment. And in our context today also, the world is mixed with good things and not so good things. Let me give you one simple example. The internet that we have today, very good tool for our life. How you use it? It is just like that milk mixed with water. It is very difficult to choose what is right, and therefore choose the best one for your life, for the sake of your parents, for the society, and for your own life. Choose. Have a good discernment. That is the first one. And the second D is determination. Determination. In the video presentation, we saw the life of Ignatius. When we saw in his life, there was the battle of Pamplona. The place is called Pamplona, and the French army and the Spanish army. Unfortunately, the number of soldiers was very less with Ignatius, and the number of French army, the enemy, was very great. But Ignatius was determined to win. We are the men of Loyola, he said. We are the men of Loyola, and we don't bow before the war. And someone asked him, when he was a soldier, how do you want to die? How do you want to die? And one of his friends answered, oh, I want to die, having a comfortable house, living a luxurious life. But when it came to Ignatius, he said, I want to die as a soldier in the battlefield. It doesn't mind, it doesn't matter for him is a good number or less number of soldiers. I want to fight and die as a soldier in the battlefield. Determination. And when he decided to follow the Lord, when he changed his life completely, he never turned back. He never went back facing the odds of life. He never went back, always marched forward. A man of determination. And the third D is decision. Decision. When we have a good discernment, when we are determined, it is also easy for us to take firm decisions in our life. We have to take firm decisions in life to learn something new so that we can give something good to the society. We have to make our life meaningful by taking firm decisions. And the fourth one is direction. Direction. In life, take the right direction. We have, dear students, you have well qualified teachers. Our teachers not only to give you the knowledge from the books, but also to guide you in your way of life, to give you a right direction in your life. Listen to them. Obey your teachers. Obey your parents. And that is the greatest help that any one of us have got in our life. Listening to the teachers, listening to our parents is the greatest tool that we have to take right directions in our life. And the last D is distinction. Distinction. That is always aiming something greater in life. Having big dreams in life. And in the words of Ignatius himself, magis. You might have heard this word, magis. Magis, it means doing great things, better things in life. Not having, small dreams, small, very, it's minimum, mediocre maybe. Having big dreams. And to have big dreams, we need to have good direction. And that I'm very sure your teachers give you. And that is what we have to choose in our life. Take, have a proper discernment, take firm decisions, have determination, take proper direction, and aim at magis. Dear staff members, you might have already seen in our school calendars maybe, or the posters maybe in our institutions, something to do with UAPAs, that is Universal Apostolic Preferences. And also we have something called for our province, Karnataka Province Apostolic Planning. We have some aims in this 10 years, 2019 to 2029. We have some aims we have set before us. Dear staff members, I request you to join your hands with us in realizing, in materializing these dreams that we have. Taking God to our students, reaching out to the youth, caring for our common good. And there are many, planning, etc. Please join your hands with us in materializing these dreams that we have for the 10 years. Once again, my greetings to all of you, to the principal, to the vice principals, and teaching and non-teaching staff, and to you, dear students, wish you a very happy feast of St. Ignatius. May he continue to bless us from above and help us always to aim something greater, something good for ourselves and to the society. God bless all of us.
Thank you, Father. A great leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion, not position. I now request our dear principal, Father Melvin Anil Lobo SJ, to broaden our horizons with his wise words.
Chief guest of today's program, Father Anush Tikona, Vice Principals, Ms. Laurel D'Souza and Ms. Aparna Suresh, all the teachers, the staff members, and my dear students. At the very outset, I would like to wish all of you a very happy feast of St. Ignatius of Loyola. Happy feast. Okay. Dear students, as you know, we celebrate 3 institutional feasts in our school. The first one, St. Aloysius Gonzaga. Have we celebrated? Yes, we have celebrated the feast of St. Aloysius Gonzaga. The second one is the feast of St. Ignatius of Loyola, which we celebrate today. And the third one is the Foundation Day, which we celebrate on January 12th every year. Today's feast is significant. It is the Founder Saint's Feast Day. Founder Saint of all the Jesuit institutions. He founded the Society of Jesus, and through the Society of Jesus, he has founded many institutions, educational and other institutions. You may wonder how many Jesuit institutions are there in the world. Just want to give you some statistics. At present, we have more than 2,700 schools and colleges all across the world. More than 2,700. There are more than 2 lakhs faculty members and staff members all over the world. And there are about 33 lakhs, that means 3.3 million students studying all over the world in the Jesuit institutions. Is it a small number or a big number? It's a big number. 33 lakhs students studying in Jesuit institutions all across the world, and they are all celebrating the feast of St. Ignatius of Loyola on this very day, and you are part of them. Do you feel proud of it? Okay, so that is what about the Jesuit institution. You are belonging to a institution which has so many students studying and so many staff members across 90 countries. So you belong to an institution which has the legacy of 475 years. You know, St. Ignatius of Loyola himself started the school in 1548 in a place called Messina in Italy. 1548. And if you count this year, it will be 475 years. So ever since he began that institution, so many institutions have been started and many students have been educated. So that is the legacy, and we have our own institution which has a history or legacy of 143 years. And your own school, St. Aloysius Gonzaga School, how many years did we complete? Already 10 years and 11 years. So 11 years are completed, and this is the 12th year. So you belong to an institution which has a great number of years of legacy. Dear students, I just want to mention 3 important Jesuit names who are prominent. We should know about them. They have contributed to our country as well as to the world. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. The first one is Father Jerome D'Souza. He is a Jesuit of India. What is he known for? Father Jerome D'Souza, he was the member of the Constituent Assembly. the Constituent Assembly was instrumental in finalizing the Constitution. And he was one of the members who has contributed greatly. And we are really proud of Father Jerome D'Souza, who was a Jesuit, and he has contributed in terms of religious freedom by giving his insights. He also was appointed to be the representative to the United Nations, and he attended 4 sessions in the United Nations. So that is Father Jerome D'Souza, a great personality whose name we read in the Indian history. Second one is a person who is still living. That is Father Thomas Kununkal. Father Thomas Kununkal, he is a Jesuit. He was the chairman of the Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE. Our school is affiliated to CBSE, and at one juncture, the chairman of this CBSE was a Jesuit priest, and that is none other than Father Thomas Kununkal. He was the chairman from 1980 to 87. Besides being the chairman, he was instrumental in establishing National Institute of Open School. We know NIOS, very famous. The students who are not able to go in this regular mode of study, they can opt for NIOS, that is open school. And he was the key person to contribute to this particular initiative of the government, and he has taken very active part in it. Recently, in 2012, CBSE brought out Value Education, a handbook for teachers, and he was advisory member of it, and he has a message written in that book. He is still living. I have met him in person when I went to Delhi, and he is living in St. Xavier's. He is 97 years old and still very active. The CBSE members come and meet him, consult him. So he is also a great contributor, especially towards education in our country. We remember him especially on this day. Third person is whom I would like to remember is Pope Francis. He is also a Jesuit, and he is the leader of the Catholic Church, which has a number of 1.3 billion people. And he is the leader of this organization, this Catholic body. And he is a Jesuit, and we are very happy that he is the leader of the Catholic Church. These are 3 members whom I would like to share about him. I would like to also share with you 3 alumni who have contributed greatly. There are many others, but 3 of them. One was our own president of our country, APJ Abdul Kalam. You all know about him? He studied in a Jesuit school, Jesuit institution, not school, Jesuit institution. He was a student in St. Joseph's College, Trichy. And he always says, if I become president, if I become scientist, it is all because of the education and the encouragement that I was given by my teachers and the fathers in St. Joseph's Trichy. And in his autobiography, he mentions the 2 names of the Jesuits who encouraged him, who gave him support in his studies. That is APJ Abdul Kalam. The second one is, you all know about him, is cricketer Rahul Dravid. He is the present cricket coach of Indian cricket team. You know about him. He studied in St. Joseph's Boys High School. He studied in our own St. Joseph's Commerce College. Very disciplinarian man, and he is known as Wall of Indian cricket. And such a great personality was groomed in our own institution, Rahul Dravid. And the third one is Arvind Adiga. Arvind Adiga studied in our own St. Aloysius High School. He was the first rank holder in our school. And he has gone on in his achievement. He brought out a book named white tiger for which he was given uh, the Booker's Prize. He was a Booker Prize winner, and he achieved that great honor, and he was given that award, and he has given that entire contribution to St. Aloysius Institution, and because of which you are receiving scholarship in his name, Aravinda Adiga Scholarship during annual day. He has also contributed to the lab and a classroom. You see the name Aravinda Adiga in one of the floors here. He has contributed. So that is a great alumnus of St. Aloysius Institution. So I mentioned three great names, prominent names, who are alumni, dear students. They were nurtured, they studied in our school and colleges and institution and have become great personalities. All this I share with you. Why? Because there is a man behind, and that man is St. Ignatius of Loyola. If St. Ignatius of Loyola was not there, all Jesuit institutions, educational institutions, would not have come into existence. It's because of that man, his vision, we have great institutions and great personalities have been formed, and they have in a way contributed to the building of this nation and the entire world. And as a carry home message, I would like to tell you, dear students, one is, first of all, live your life passionately. That is what our chief guest said. Live your life passionately, discovering God and discovering your talent. That is what Ignatius did before his conversion and after his conversion. He lived his life passionately. Let us live our life passionately, discovering God, discovering our talents. And secondly, let's choose things wisely. Chief guest told us to choose things. He gave a beautiful example. We have to choose between good and evil. Between the good and evil, we have to choose good. Between two goods, what we have to choose? Say you have a marriage function and you have got exam. What you should choose? Because that is for your greater good. You have to choose between the two goods. They are not evil, but you have to choose between the two goods. That means you have to choose something greater good. So you choose that way. Choose wisely. And Ignatius tells us to choose things wisely. Choose the greater good. And thirdly, my dear students, to do the best here and now. That is, whatever that you are doing, do it giving your best. There is no such a thing called that you have achieved everything. There is still room for doing good, doing better. And that is why Ignatius always says, greater, to the greater glory of God. Mage says to achieve greater. Every time to achieve greater. So let us have that excellence, achieving excellence in our life, in our studies, in everything that you do. So dear students, once again, wish all of you a wonderful feast day today. May the message of Ignatius and his life inspire all of you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our chief guest, first of all, to accept the invitation and come here to celebrate the feast day of St. Ignatius of Loyola and giving a beautiful message to our students. Thank you, dear Father Anush. Let's give a round of applause. I would like to thank our teachers who coordinated today's program. Ms. Rupa, Ms. Smita, Ms. Aquina and Ms. Ashwini, and all the teachers who have put their effort and presented a beautiful program. Let's give a round of applause to all the teachers. Congratulations and appreciate all the students who participated in today's program and wish you wonderful day today, dear students. Have a great day.
Thank you, Father. Gratitude makes sense of the past, brings peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. I now call upon Lisha Menezes of class 11 to propose the vote of thanks.
Gratitude makes sense for our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. A very good morning to you all. I, Lisha Menezes of class 11, deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. First and foremost, I thank Almighty God for showering His blessings on us. I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to our chief guest, Father Anush Prasad Dekunas SJ, for gracing us with his presence today. Your presence and words have added immense value to our celebration, and we are truly honored to have you here. Thank you, Father. I request our principal, Father Melvin Anil Lobo SJ, to present a memento to our chief guest as a token of gratitude. We are also deeply grateful to our principal, Father Melvin Anil Lobo SJ, for his wise guidance and unwavering support. His leadership has been essential to the success of this occasion, and we are truly fortunate to have him at the helm of our school. Thank you, Father. My deep sense of gratitude also goes to our vice principals, Miss Laurel D'Souza and Miss Aparna Suresh, for their constant support and encouragement. Their wisdom, guidance, and kindness have been invaluable to us. Thank you, teachers. This event did not come to pass without great effort. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our beloved teachers, especially the program coordinators and the in-charge teachers, for putting in an extraordinary amount of time and energy to make this celebration a success. Thank you, teachers. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to the technical arrangement team and stage setting team for their outstanding work. I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to our talented performers for their outstanding contributions to the event. Their creativity, passion, and dedication brought joy to everyone in attendance, and we are grateful for their efforts. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you who made this feast day celebration memorable for all of us. Your enthusiasm made the celebration a truly special one. Saint Ignatius, Loyola's journey from a worldly soldier to a humble servant of God is an example to the power of faith and the human spirit. It reminds us that we are all capable of doing great things if we are willing to follow our dreams and live our lives in service to others. Thank you once again. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, and once again, I wish you a very happy feast of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Have a nice day ahead.
School attention, stand at ease. Attention. School anthem in chorus begin.